Hey, shalawam, yashallah, meaning peace be unto the nation of Israel, whom are your modern day so-called negroes, Latinos, Native American Indians, and speckled Israelites, whom are you Israelite foreigners scattered across the four corners of the earth, mainly within America, and you are the Most High, Yahweh's chosen people of the nation of Israel. Without further ado, as always, I just want to give all praises, glory, infinite honor to my power, Yahawah Bahashem Yahawashi, Barak, meaning all praise to the Heavenly Father, Yahweh, in the name of His only begotten and anointed Son, Yahawashi, and the Holy Spirit, our strength and our Redeemer, and our light and our salvation. And I also want to say, Mashana Kabwadim, Lahasaquanium, Shalawam, meaning double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone, the true shepherds of Israel, pushing the sound doctrine and faith, truth, and sincerity. And Shalawam, honors and salutations to Bayasha Dabada, meaning the house of David, representing the elect of Israel, including the 144,000 governing body, and the rest of the elect, one-third elect men, women, and children of Israel. All right, and this is your fellow servant Malak Rayabs back at it again with another World War III update. All right, biblical harm God won. This last war's war, the end all be all of all wars. All right, within these war drums beating loud and louder in these last days, further confirming that we're almost out of here. You know, we're almost out of Babylon the Great. All right, because of these last few ending prophecies coming to pass, man. So this is another World War III update in regards to Jim Crow, sleepy, creepy Jim Crow Joe ordering airstrikes against Iran-backed facilities, or in this case, military facilities used by quote-unquote Iran-backed militia groups. All right, in Iran, all right, which is modern-day Persia. All right, you know, in regards to the biblical identity of the modern-day Iranians of the nation of Elam. All right, you know, known as spoken about and prophesied as the Persians in Ezekiel the 30th chapter, are prophesied to go to war alongside Russia and their allies against America, man. All right, and this is a step closer to that war, which is going to be devastating for mankind, because a great portion of the land is going to be destroyed by Elam, all right, the modern day Iranians, you know, also known as Carmanians in 2nd Esdras, the 16th chapter, or the 15th chapter. All right, so it says President Jim Crow Joe directed military forces to conduct defensive precision airstrikes against facilities used by Iran-backed militia groups in the Iraq-Syria border region on Sunday evening, according to a news release from the Department of Defense. It says the targets were selected because these facilities are utilized by Iran-backed militias that are engaged in unmanned aerial vehicle attacks against U.S. personnel and facilities in Iraq. So these are just more war provocations. All right, you know, which is of the track record of the Edomite Confederacy against their enemies. Going back to, you know, the history of, you know, the origin of this conflict between, you know, the Edomite Confederacy and these Arabian nations. All right, and these Muslim nations, going back to the 1967 Six-Day War. You know, we had Syria, all right, involved in that war. All right. So it's not a coincidence that Syria is heavily involved in these tensions, because history repeats itself, man. And they're going to be involved in this war as well. All right, because it's like it says in 2nd Esdras, the 15th chapter, about the dragons of Arabia. All right, these so-called these Arabian and so-called Muslim nations are going to rise up against the dragon. Okay, all right, to defy his brightness, as it says in Ezekiel 28:7. Why? Because they're getting tired of the Western influence. All right, of America, Babylon the Great. All right. Compromising their sovereignty, man. All right, so they're gonna continue to provoke these nations until they just completely lash out against these devils, man. All right, so it says specifically the U.S. strikes targeted operational weapons storage facilities at 2 locations in Syria and 1 location in Iraq, both of which lie close to the border between those countries. Pentagon Press Secretary John Kirby said in a release. Okay. So it says at least 4 Iran-backed militia fighters in Iraq and Syria were killed in the airstrikes, Iraq militia said in a statement released Monday. You see that? So, you know, so this bloodshed is not going to go unaccounted for. Like it says in Psalm 55:23, bloody and deceitful men shall not live out half their days. Okay, so I'm going to get this this first precept in 2nd Esdras chapter 15. All right, so I'm going to get 2nd Esdras chapter 15. And I'm going to jump down to around the 28th verse. All right, it says here, behold, an horrible vision and the appearance thereof from the east. All right. So these kings of the east, as is prophesied in Revelation 16 and 12, includes Russia, Iran, Syria, Turkey, and all those who stand with them. All right, pursuing Ezekiel the 38th chapter. All right, and mainly those who stand with them. All right, according to the kings of the east that are going to war with the horde that sits upon many waters. So it says here, verse 29, where the nations of the dragons of Arabia shall come out with many chariots, and a multitude of them shall be carried as a wind upon earth, that all they which hear them may fear and tremble. So all those who hear the dragons of Arabia, the serpents of Arabia, these other Muslim nations are going to tremble. So it says here, verse 30, here's a point. Also the Carmanians raging in wrath shall go forth as a wild boars of the wood. And the modern day Carmanians also are known as the Iranians. Okay, the biblical descendants of the Elamites. All right. So and it says, and with great power shall they come and join battle with them, and shall waste a portion of the land of the Assyrians. And the modern day land of the Assyrians is America. All right. Modern day Nineveh, modern day Babylon. All right. Modern day Rome. Okay. So it says, and then shall the dragons have the upper hand, remembering their nature. And if they shall turn themselves, conspiring together in great power to persecute them. Okay. So they're gonna conspire greatly. All right. With a mutual interest of wasting their enemies, like it says in Jeremiah the 50th chapter, another precept. So I'm going to get this next precept here in Psalm chapter 55, verse Psalm chapter 55, verse 20. And it reads, he had put forth his hands against such as be at peace with him. He hath broken his covenant. All right. And covenant is another word for covenant as a truce or treaty. And these devils' track record consists of reneging or rescinding from these treaties or agreements they've made with these nations, including all the treaties they broke with the so-called Native American Indians from the tribe of Gad. So this is a track record of the self-proclaimed white man in regards to his wicked, vile, profane nature. All right, and his vile, profane nature, consisting of hypocrisy, deception, and manipulation, and carnality and witchcraft, is going to catch up to him, man. All right, because these nations are going to unleash full vengeance upon this devil. All right, for in regards to their pent up anger over the years of being on the tail end of this devil's wicked dominion, man. His perpetual wrath, okay, of persecution, pursuant to Isaiah 14:6, roughly paraphrasing. All right, because case in point, further confirming that he's a covenant breaker. They rescinded from the 2015 JCPOA Iran nuclear deal, man. And that's a full declaration of war. If that wasn't bad enough, around the fall of last year, they went on a rampage, man, taking out their top Iranian scientists, nuclear scientists down there in Iran. Okay, taking out their top military general, Soleimani. Okay, and now they continue to provoke them, man. Okay, and these nations are gonna rise up against these devils. All right, and they're going to they're going to unleash their weapons against them, man. So it says here in Jeremiah 50:14, put yourselves in array against Babylon round about, all you that bend the bow. Shoot at her, spare no arrows, for she hath sinned against the Lord, Yahawah. Shout against her round about, she hath given her hand, her foundations are fallen, her walls are thrown down. For it is the vengeance of the Lord, Yahawah. Take vengeance upon her, as she hath done, do unto her. You see? And so all these war provocations and war games they have further concocted and devised to ultimately overthrow their enemies that opposes their global agenda, their globalist reset agenda, especially those who lack a central bank like Iran and Russia and Syria. They're going to be targeted, and they're going to react, all right, to these war provocations by reciprocating the same energy that's been directed towards them, man. And that's going to be devastating for mankind, especially those who have conformed to the image of oppression, all right, through the serpent, the dragon, okay, who's created to remove peace from the earth, man, pursuant to Revelation 6:4, the self-proclaimed white man, Esau, Edom. So going back to, all right, to this app here, all right, there was a couple of more accounts I want to bring out, okay, and this is why, as of recently, Russia, was reportedly preparing to supply Iran with the advanced satellite systems that would further boost Iran's ability to surveil military targets. You see, to further spy on and further monitor their enemies. Going into the whole intention of ARPANET being created. Which was the original the origin of the internet, formerly known as ARPANET, to spy on their enemies. Okay, regarding military and technological movements. Ironically, the adversaries of America, Babylon the Great, possesses the same technology, to reciprocate that same energy that was directed towards them, man. You see, here's a point of this article I want to go ahead and mention. I want to go ahead and expound upon, dealing with this up and coming war. All right, that's inevitable. All right, prophetically speaking. All right, it says, see if I could go ahead and find it here. All right, so all right, see if I could find it. There's a part in this article that mentioned the fact that their weapons are becoming that much more threatening, and due to the effect of the technology. Okay, so see if I could find it. Let me see here. I believe it's here somewhere. If I could find it. All right. I'll bear with me. See if I could just find it real quick. Yeah, sometimes when things are right in front of your face, you can't see it. But yeah, I'm just trying to find it. There's a part in here, and basically it says, here it is. Independent experts and analysis said Iran's new spying capabilities would be especially worrying given Tehran's recent advances in missile guidance systems. Iran is producing an array of ballistic missiles and drones that are able to strike distant targets with precision. All right, because these ICBM missiles have the capability of traveling from one continent to another, anywhere from half an hour to an hour. And these are the weapons. These are weapons of indignation of the Lord, YAHAWAH BAHASHAM YAHAWASHI. All right, pursuant to Isaiah the 54th chapter. You know what I'm saying? Isaiah the 34th chapter. All right. That would be guided by his righteous will, by his power, his true divine power, man. So that means that whatever proximity of time or whatever measure of time it would take for these missiles to come over here, the Lord will indeed speed up the time for these missiles to get over here. And that further goes into the prophecy in Revelation 18th chapter, where it mentions how America, Babylon the Great, will be destroyed in 1 hour. So it says here, Iran is producing an array of ballistic missiles and drones that are able to strike distant targets with precision, and access to improved satellite imagery could make them even more effective, some said. So there you go, man. So the Carmanians, pursuant to 2nd Ezra 15 and 29, are going to come against these devils along with their allies, which brings me to the next precept in Ezekiel chapter 38 from the top. And it says, "And the word of the Lord Yahweh came unto me, saying, Son of man, set thy face against Gog, the land of Magog, the chief prince of Meshach and Tubal, and prophesy against him," which is Russia, all right? Because that's the bear that's being poked right now, all right? Because Russia is a top ally of Iran. So the more they provoke Iran into war, the more they're provoking Russia into war. And this is all prophetic, all right? Verse 3, "And say, Thus said the Lord Yahweh, Behold, I'm against thee, O Gog, the chief prince of Meshach and Tubal." Salakia. "And I will turn thee back and put hooks into thy jaws, and I will bring thee forth, and all thine army, horses and horsemen, all of them clothed with all sorts of armor, even a great company with bucklers and shields, all of them handling swords." And these going to be these modern day swords, these flying swords, man, pursuant to Isaiah the 34th chapter, that will bathe the heavens, okay, and roll up the heavens into a scroll, that mushroom cloud, as a further effect of the thermonuclear ingredient uranium that Iran, ironically, is further increasing their intake by way of, to further develop these thermonuclear ICBM ballistic missiles, man. So it says Persia, all right, the so-called Carmanians are modern day Iranians, okay, Persia, Ethiopia, and Libya with them, all of them with shield and helmet, so their military gear. Gomer and all his bands, the house of Togrim of the north quarters, dealing with Turkey, and all his bands and many people with thee. Be thou prepared, and prepare for thyself, thou and all thy company that are assembled unto thee, and be thou a guard unto them. All right, so Russia going to be a guard to, to Iran and their allies, man. Okay, so it's going to be a devastating war, and we're getting closer and closer to it, man. All right, pursuing to St. Luke 21 and 28, there's a further, becoming that much more further evident on why we should lift up our heads, because our salvation is nigh, man, out of the captivity of our enemies. All right, so I'm going to get I'm going to get Jeremiah chapter 50. Actually, already brought that out. All right, so that's pretty much it. That's all. I'm going to end it off there. All right, this place is about to be destroyed, man. There's not very much time left here. All right. There's not very much time left here. So I'm going to get Joel chapter 3. Okay. Verse 9. Proclaiming this among the Gentiles, prepare war, wake up the mighty men. Let all the men of war draw near, let them come up. Beat your plowshares into swords and your pruning hooks into spears. Let the weak say, I am strong. Okay. And these weaker nations are standing up to the hammer of the earth and the wicked covering cast of the earth, which is America, Babylon the Great, to further defy her brightness. So it says, assemble yourselves and come, all ye heathen, and gather yourselves together round about. Thither cause thy mighty ones to come down, O Lord Yahweh. Let the heathen be wakened and come up to the valley of YAHAWAH, for there will I sit to judge all the heathen round about. Okay. So these heathen nations are going to be destroyed in this last world's war. Okay. And the only heathen that will survive would be the first fruits of slavery of the wicked globalist central banking elite banking families responsible for these war provocations, for the simple fact that they also fund these wars. Okay. Dealing with the weapons distributions and whatnot. All right. Of these weapon sales, resulting in these weapon sales. So these devils profit off of destruction, being the sons of perdition, and it's going to catch up to them when Yahawashi returns with angels to render vengeance upon these heathen nations. All right, that's going to be their recompense, man. That's going to be the recompense the Lord is going to unleash upon this world. All right, upon those who are conformed to the image of this devil's rulership, man. Okay, including all you nations who were made who wax rich off the abundancies of America's delicacies. You're going to be destroyed. All right, and you and your armies in these last days, man. So without further ado, just want to give all praises, glory, infinite honor to my power, YAHAWAH BAHASHAM YAHAWASHI, BAHASHAM YAHAWASHI. All right. Akwam Yasha'Allah, Rise Israel. All right. DTA. All right. Abad Babal. And shalawam to the elect, and on to the next one.